Good morning, class. So recently we have just completed our chapter, that is democratic rights, right? So in which we are just going to learn about the definition of right, at the same time what are the uses of right in our life, in our daily journey, how we are going to be interact with society. During that time there are so many exploitations done by our social members. So during that conditions we are going to be utilize our rights, and at the same time rights are the guarantee which maintain equality in our society, which maintain the equal status in our society. At the same time the Constitution of India had given the fundamental rights and even also had given the human rights. So what are the uses of fundamental rights and the human rights? That we have already explained in class, right? So now I would like to call one of the students who is going to be present the whole chapter regarding democratic rights. So Yukti, please come forward and give your presentation. So please have a big round of applause for you.
Good morning everyone, this is Yukti Anand and today I am here for presentation class of chapter number 5, that is democratic rights. So as we all know that in a democracy, election is very important. This is because election helps to elect country's government. So for the conduction of election, we need rights. Also, also a democratic nation can't be called as democratic if it doesn't give individual rights to its citizen. If the citizen of the nation doesn't enjoy the rights. So this chapter takes us through these rights. This chapter tells us that what does this right means, what are its significance, why do we need these rights, what are the fundamental rights and what are the expanding scope of these rights. So before proceeding, I want you all to imagine a situation of a classroom in which so many students are there, and among those students almost 2 or 3 students used to wear spectacles. A new class teacher came in the classroom and they asked those students who are wearing spectacles to go out of the class because he doesn't like that student. So now compare this example with your real life. Do you think that in your real life you are facing such situation? Do you think that in your classroom, as a student, you all are sitting in a classroom. So do you think that in your classroom any teacher do something like this? No. This is because you all pay equally and you all have the right to education. So this is what our rights do. My main objective behind telling you this example was just to give you a brief knowledge about rights. What importance does it play in our life? Because rights are needed to live in a democratic way. It is needed everywhere. It is needed. So this was the need of rights. That's all. Thank you.
So now just Yukti Anand had expressed the views regarding democratic rights. Now we have a student, Priyanshu Raj. Please come forward and explain regarding democratic rights. Please have a big round of applause.
Till the previous chapter. Good morning everyone, this is Priyanshu Raj of Standard 9 Sunflower, and here today I am here for the presentation of chapter Democratic Rights of Civics. So, till the previous chapter we have learned about the institutions and about the elections. But it is very required that a government which is properly elected and is running through institutions can also violate the rights of citizens. So there should be some limits against the government, and that limit is set by the rights. There are various times when prejudices arise rights. For example, you can say the example of South Africa, where the whites violated the blacks people. Due to the prejudice, their rights were violated. You can think about the example of APJ Abdul Kalam, when their rights were violated, when due to prejudice, a new teacher who came have discriminated him with his friend Lakshmana Sastry. Now coming upon the topic, we have to learn in this chapter why rights are important, what are rights. So before it is very required that what would be the situation without the rights. What kind of life is there in the absence of rights? This can be understood through the three examples. That is, first, prison in Guantanamo Bay. Second, citizens' rights in Saudi Arabia. And the third, that is ethnic massacre in Kosovo. I explained you in the short. First is prison in Guantanamo Bay, where 600 prisoners were picked up by the people, and they were put up in the prison near Cuba, in Guantanamo Bay near Cuba, controlled by the American Navy. The second is that citizens' right in Saudi Arabia, where human rights were violated, and the citizens have no right to freedom of religion and right to vote. And the third example, that is ethnic massacre in Kosovo. There we know that there was a very revolution between the native people of Kosovo, where we see that the Albanians were violated by the sub-majority after formation of government of the Milosevic, which was the Socialist Party of Serbia. So from these three examples, we come to know that rights are very important for the very substance of a democracy. Thank you.
So you know that the rights are the reasonable and sufficed by and sanctioned by law. So very clean and pure definition we have just came to learn about this chapter. So next we have Astha. Please come forward and have a presentation regarding democratic rights.
Good morning, myself Astha. Today the topic of my presentation is democratic rights. This chapter is all about rights, which is a very important aspect in everyone's life. Now, I want you all to imagine a life without the right. You might be thinking, without rights our life is not possible. So to answer this, I would like to discuss three important real cases in which the people are denied of their rights and somewhere they do not have their rights. So my first case is prison in Guantanamo Bay. About 600 people were separately picked up from all over the world and put into the prison in Guantanamo Bay. US government said that they are the enemies of US and linked with the attack on New York on 11 September 2001. The prisoners do not have the freedom to inform their families. There was no trial before any magistrate. This was the clear case of infringement of fundamental rights. Amnesty Organization, which is an international organization of volunteers who campaign for human rights, they came and collect information about the issue and highlighted the issue. The prisoners were not released after they are officially declared not guilty. The US Secretary General said that the prison should be closed down, but the US government refused to do so. From this case, we get to know that right is given but not has been executed. Now my second case is citizens' right in Saudi Arabia. The case of Saudi Arabia and the position of the citizen in Saudi Arabia with regards to their governments are: the country was ruled by a hereditary king. The role of person in electing the ruler was not very up to the mark. The condition of the woman is very worst. The testimony of women was equal to one man to the two women. They were not allowed to cast their votes. The people of Saudi Arabia do not have the freedom of religion. So, thank you.
So we'll explain by Astha. There are three conditions we have: the story of Guantanamo Bay, at the same time the story of Saudi Arabia, and the ethnic composition that we have found in Kosovo, where the majority people were Serbians and the minority were Albanians. These are the great examples which were given, the proven that's how the rights are violated and how the peoples were suffered. So next we have a student, Katyani, please come forward and have a presentation regarding democratic rights.
Good morning everyone, this is Katyani and today I am here to interpret you the chapter Democratic Rights. As my three friends has already explained you what is the importance of right and why it is needed. Because the thing which are looking too obvious and common today might happen strange if there would be no right in the society. As today we are seeing that both girls and boys are studying together in Sri Krishna Idol Public School under a same roof in a same class by a same teacher. But if you will go a little time back, you will find that these things were not there. Women were fighting for the education, they were doing protest for the education, and even if they were taught, then they were taught at the home. They were not allowed to talk with anyone. They don't have any political or any rights to express their view. But now these things are common for us because of rights. So here we can see that really right is very important for all of us. Now, as we have seen in the case of Guantanamo Bay, Saudi Arabia and Kosovo, mainly in the case of Kosovo and Saudi Arabia, the rights of the citizen are being exploited by the government of their own country. That's why the constitution of various countries, not only the India, of all the democratic countries have provided some certain rights that are even above than the government of the country, and these rights are considered as fundamental rights, which are the basic rights of the citizen of the country to sustain their lives. And in Indian constitution there are 6 fundamental rights. All of them are: first, right to equality, right to freedom, right to religion, right to culture and education, and right against exploitation, and right to constitutional remedies, that is also known as heart and soul of the constitution. Now, right to equality. Right to equality is just about rule of law, means every citizen is equal in front of law, either irrespective of their caste, gender, color, race and class. For example, if the Prime Minister of our India has been subjected for any crime and I am subjected for any crime, then we both have to attend the court on the regular basis, and I will be free if I am not the guilty, and he would be also free only if he would not be guilty. Means right to equality avoid any type of discrimination that has been followed in our country. It is mentioned in the Constitution by Article 12. Now you might have think that our Constitution has provided the right to equality, then why there is reservation? Because in reservation we have seen that certain people are given a privilege over various things for any job or any educational purpose. Now why these things are there? So I will explain you with a real life example. Have you saw any marathon race? If you haven't saw, then you would observe that a player is placed a little bit forward, and another is placed a little bit backward, and another is placed a little bit backward. Why these things are there? Because there is a circular path, and if that person is there, and if he will run, then he have to cover a short distance, and if this person will run, then he have to cover a large distance. That's why those runners are placed a little bit distanted from each other, so that they all will cover an equal distance in that circular path. That is the reason the reservation is provided in our constitution, so that the lower caste such as SC, ST and women also can come to the level of the upper classes people. They all will become marginalized. They will not come under marginalized group. That's why reservation is provided. So from this it is clear that our constitution has provided every solution of every problem. Now, thanks and have a great day ahead.
Please. So I will explain by Katyani regarding fundamental rights, that what is the importance of right in our daily life. It's well explained. So we'll continue in next classes. All the students also get opportunity to come forward and give their presentations. So for today, it's enough. Thank you, class.